Hello Wargamers, I'm Invasive Ramnus, and today I want to talk a little bit about the Forgeworld Arvana Riptide battlesuit. I've been planning on reviewing this for a while now, ever since rules came out, and I was about to do it last night, and I figured, hey, what's the hurry? Nothing's going to change, just do it tomorrow. Well, of course, this morning they released new rules, so good thing I waited, I guess, because otherwise the video would be completely useless. Maybe this one will be too. Who knows? But yeah, so they had the old set of rules was really good. It was potentially the most broken thing that Forgeworld has put out. If not, it should be in like the top 10 most broken things that Forgeworld put out. It's just a beast, and I've mentioned in comments before that this is the type of thing that I would just feel bad bringing, unless my opponent knew that I was bringing it and thought it'd just be fun to try it out and see what happens. Cool model, but not something that I would feel feel good about bringing to the table and even just a normal competitive match. Now the new set of rules are much more in line with the standard Riptide in terms of its ability, and much more fairly costed. They're both 260 points, but the new set of rules are significantly less powerful than the previous one. So because the previous one is the previous one, not the current one, I won't spend too much time talking about it now, but basically he lost a few things that made it really broken, and they added some nice checks to it in the current rule set. So on to what you actually get with this guy. It's the standard Riptide profile, except for it has increased toughness and increased wounds. So you have toughness 7 and wounds 6. And just like a normal Riptide, you have the option of taking shield and missile drones. What you have to give up, though, in order to get that increased toughness and wounds is your jetpack. So you're no longer jetpack monstrous creature. You're just a standard monstrous creature. And so you're just going to be standing around for the most part. Not jump, shoot, jumping with this guy, unfortunately. He comes with 2 pulse submission cannons and a Riptide shield generator. He used to have a special type of shield generator in the previous rule set that made him much more durable, but now he just has a standard 5-up invulnerable save from the shield generator. And then, of course, he has his special Nova reactor and the supporting fire special roll. He can take 2 shield missile drones, as I mentioned earlier, and has access to only 2 pieces of supporting war gear. He can take positional relay and stimulant injector. For reasons I'll talk about in a minute, positional relay seems to have a limited application just because he's not going to be a real mobile aspect of your army. He's just going to be kind of hanging around. He's not going to be in places where you're going to be wanting to necessarily have something deep strike. And so the positional relay might not really offer that much tactically. The stimulant injector also is slightly less beneficial on this guy than he would be on a normal Riptide, because it specifically stated here that any failed Nova reactor wounds cannot be negated by a stimulant injector, by Feel No Pain. So since that was one of the main reasons to potentially take a stimulant injector with a normal Riptide, that definitely decreases the value of a stim injector for the Arvana. Now, it still gives you Feel No Pain against all other types of wounds, so that can be beneficial, especially if you're facing off against another Tau player, and it's a battle of endurance. The stim injector can help. All right, on to some more specifics, though. Let's see. Of course, he has a built-in multi-tracker and black sun filter, but he also comes with a flechette discharger, just like the ones that you have on vehicles. So basically, if anybody tries charging it, they're going to get a bunch of scrap metal in their face, and it's that can be pretty effective at deterring things like orcs or Tyranids, even if you, for some reason got charged by some guard or something like that. That can also be effective. It could be effective against recruit if they charged you too, although I'm not sure why they would with sniper rifles. But yeah. The pulse submunitions cannon also got a major nerf with this updated rule set, but it's still essentially the same in many regards. Has a range of 60, strength 6, AP 4. That's where the nerf came in. AP 4, heavy 1, large blast, and cluster fire. Cluster fire means that if it's a very bulky model or a model on a jet bike or a cavalry, then it takes 2 hits at weapon at strength 7, and if it's extremely bulky or a vehicle or a monstrous creature, it's going to take 3 hits at toughness or at strength 8. So basically what that means is you're 90% of the time going to be wounding on 2s, and yeah, and you can kind of negate the nerfed AP, the mediocre AP value of the weapon, by increasing the number of hits, particularly for vehicles. Getting 3 hits on a vehicle at strength 8 per template, so potentially 6, with opportunity for more if you Nova Charge, can be a lot of hits that that vehicle needs to shrug off. Of course, it can't fire against flyers, but any type of Imperial Guard army with lots of vehicles, a mechanized army is going to be really hurting with this guy, and anything with lots of Terminators or Centurions, things that are very bulky, are going to be hurting as well. Now, notably, this weapon is not as efficient at killing standard power armor just because it's AP4 instead of AP2 like the standard Riptide ion accelerator weapon. So this is going to be something better at taking out just hordes of guard or Tyranids or orcs, because you get multiple large blasts. But it's also going to be good at taking out light to medium armor vehicles. So it's kind of in a weird in-between spot. It's not real good at taking out power armor necessarily, but pretty much everything else it's good at. Yeah. So that's a really cool mechanic. You can choose to fire it twice by using the Arvana Nova reactor. That's one of the options that you have, and as I mentioned earlier, this one cannot be negated by Feel No Pain, which is really too bad. You have the option, of course, to increase your invulnerable save to 3 up. You can fire your pulse submunition cannons twice, but if you do that, then you can't fire it at all the next turn. So you're really just consolidating your shots into a single turn. And so this is something you're going to want to use either right off the bat, if something comes in that just needs to die before it threatens you, or right at the end of the game. Let's say you're trying to shoo some units off an objective or something, and there's no turn 8, so you might as well do this on turn 7. You also have the option to do electromagnetic shockwave, which sends out an EMP, strength 2 AP 5 with the haywire type for all models within 6 inches. Again, this reinforces that the Arvana is particularly good at taking out mechanized armies. You could, if you get a bunch of Imperial Guard just rolling up on you, you could just have this guy walk up in front of them and just like that, throw out a bunch of haywire hits and do some damage. And he also has an option to take flank speed, which gives him a 2d6 run move, which really isn't that great considering that his weapons are pretty, they're pretty essential to his role, and so moving him is going to be something you're only going to want to do if you're kind of in a pinch. So that's kind of a ho-hum move, but it does, somewhat compensate for the fact that he's not a jetpack. Overall, I think this guy is an interesting choice, but I do like the standard Riptide, and considering that it's not completely broken, it's not an auto take. So if you want to take it for fun, go ahead. It's still, I think, very competitive, but it's not something that you're going to get thrown out of your friendly local gaming store for using either. So that's good. All right. I hope you enjoyed the review, and happy wargaming.